all of a sudden one day you feel less resentful about your own research journey. Though, of course, you know that a lot of things could have been better, a lot of things could have been more peaceful. But after so much of acceptance work that I've been doing, particularly in 2024, a very mindful and intentional year, I think that was the very reason why I got gravitated towards the somatic and the energetic work that I'm doing. Unless you have wounds, of course, I mean, it's not uh, in any cliche way that uh, the cracks in the heart are the places from where light enters, but it is partially or even fully true. Uh, on the internet, if you go and check uh, PhD related pages, uh, PhD meme pages, there is so much of venting out, and all of that is justified because we live in a space where there is academic, capitalist, and all sorts of nexuses taking place. But we do have our own share of agency. Either I had a choice, I could perpetuate the cycle and say, there is nothing that I can do about it. This is how academics works. Or I could feel that pain so that the next generation doesn't have to and be a cycle breaker. And I'm absolutely glad that throughout 2023, no matter how many times I lost faith in the field that I had chosen, but I knew that I was here for stories, and those stories are going to be brave stories. Those stories are not going to be the ones where we give up. Uh, no matter how much of guilt, shame, pain, blockages trauma we need to process. And I saw in close quarters some of my own students sailing to the same boat that I was sailing through in 2023. And that's when I was prompted to integrate somatics, nervous system regulation, in the very first uh, edition of this short-term certificate course on research methodology. That's why it's so close to my heart, and I'm absolutely delighted that this third edition is happening uh, on a very mega scale. The more I give, I realize what was taken from me brought me closer to understanding how not to be, what not to do. So, if you want to know how to guide, you should also know how not to guide, and what not to do came from that waiting period. If it wasn't for July 2022 to February 2024, the waiting period, the reckless academic and administrative ways of functioning, the ruthless justifications of why the onus of getting it right, it always on the research scholar, as PhD is a self-guiding project that demands so much of your intellectual and emotional space, so much of negligence of your mental and physical health, and so much of spiritual numbness that even today I am rediscovering all the shadows and all the hidden parts that I had to numb, because the pain that I would have felt if I was living in awareness in 2022 and 23, it would have been really jarring. But I had to restart my journey in April 2023, and allow that pain to happen in the physical body and let it be processed. If it wasn't for all of this, that I wouldn't have felt immense gratitude for my PhD examiner, who had the courage to stand up for me before the entire panel as a passionate woman who loves research and acknowledges the complexities and gendered nature of academic experience. I wouldn't have been grateful for the few but really humane souls in the administrative and the exam section who helped me with the follow up, no matter how tedious it was, how cumbersome it was. It was the relief of seeing an oasis in the darkest and the wildest of the deserts, having walked incessantly for 6 long years and having to wait for uh, even more months, where waiting every day felt like waiting for years. That relatively lonely, unsupported journey helped me become a cycle breaker and integrate body based scientific methods of stress reduction, gravitate towards it, and implement it, devise ways in which I could help my students to counter the inner critic in them, to counter the systemic traumatic experiences, to break down the lofty research concepts for them, reach out to academicians who would join me in this endeavor. It helped me to have courage to set aside the energy, the effort, the mental space, and patience to take up more administrative workload of applying for funding and making this stream of intense research methodology course a reality. I'm super proud of the dedication of all the batches who have enrolled for it since March 2023, for their endurance, for listening to me, for appreciating my efforts, and for this batch uh, in 2024 for equally investing in helping out in the organizational part as well, though they are, of course, participants. I'm also super proud of the 2024 version of me who stood some days back in the stationery shop and packed 30 beautiful uh, kits of resources for this course. I know printing, stapling, organizing is not the job in quotes of an academician, but if you want that warmth and if you want that energy to be felt in every inch of what you're giving, in every second of what you're delivering, then what harm there is in walking an extra mile with the expanded heart, as always. The journey from feeling being wronged and resentful to fighting the battle, uh, channeling the rage, holding the space, and opening the heart has been incredible. And I feel only gratitude today.